I did. I talked to Courtney Budd and Usha Gilmore. And right before I even came to this wonderful Senate meeting, and they said that before we can make things official, we should have we need a official IT Hockley organization. But once we can easily rent out space. And Courtney Budd will always set me out with all equipment like the nets, the leather balls, and the playing field. Any other questions?
Yes. Point of clarification. So do you currently have an exec board structure, or are you planning on implementing one once you go, or if you plan as an organization?
After our first initial meeting next week is when we'll have an official structure. But as of now, we haven't come to a vote yet.
Okay, all right. So you have plans for it, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gentlemen in the red shirt.
How do you plan to get more members to join your organization?
As we breeze through the slide, at the very end, we mentioned that actually coming up next month, if everything goes well, we have an annual handball social at the first Monday at the daylight saving time near the racket course where we'll show off the handball and show the skills and abilities that handball can be formed during handball. Also with Hocklink and just simple word of mouth, and also posted advertising social. I have hope that we'll have a big organization soon. Plus, many of the original handball members already have, or from different organizations, of upcoming freshmen from Aswan Summer Institute.
Summit?
Would you like a question? Yes, sir.
You can go first.
Oh.
Yes, I was going to ask, you said you talked to Courtney. Basically, how often do you plan on having this meeting? Weekly? Because from what I know, Keating kind of limits that. I think it's twice a month, else you start paying rental fees. So you would have to include that into your fees, which we would handle to some extent. But have you discussed to Courtney about that, the availability of how far they would support you?
That's a very good question, man. I haven't had since we have Courtney wasn't willing to have an extremely in-depth conversation until after I came to this student council meeting, but she didn't bring it up. I was worried about that. Originally, we were going to start with we're going to have this a bi-weekly affair, but later on, if we get more successful, we might have to discuss with Courtney of running out part of the budget to have more frequent meetings. Do you have a question?
Hold on. We have 20 seconds before
Oh,
the
sorry.
time's up, unless we have a motion to extend time.
Oh, sorry. So it's live. Got this side of the room. Any questions over here?
Move to extend time.
Move to extend for
Wait.
2 minutes.
Second.
Okay. Let me extend the time. And then I saw Leo's hand and then Jay's hand.
So we're talking about members. After you came up with the idea, have you tried to engage students to see how many would be interested? Do you have an estimate of how many students currently are interested in the club as members?
I've also saying how my requested 10 signatures before getting joined the club, and mainly of the 34 students I polled about roughly slightly more than half, about 18, were interested in this athletic handball association. Does that answer your question? You want more detail?
It's good enough for now.
Many other questions?
Just to clarify, like the Keating space, they have intramurals weekly, so I think if you become a club, the renting will not become a problem. Because Courtney.
And then Dave.
Actually, never mind. My question was answered. I was just looking through the slides.
Okay. I didn't see a question from here. I didn't see a slide on your budget. Do you have a rough estimate on what kind of expenses?
He had a
Okay, maybe we just didn't get to it.
No, he did the net and everything. That's why I sent this one.
You had the balls.
Not it. Never mind. Ignore that one. I'll just gavel myself on that one. There we go. Anybody else?
Please ask me anything. I'm glad to be here. Glad to answer.
Okay. Thank you very much.
the Handball Federation. Illinois Institute. It's called Illinois Institute Handball Federation, similar to the International Handball Federation that helps govern the Olympic and abroad.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'm gonna ask if you could please exit while we discuss the student organizations. And you will be allowed after the discussion and voting back. Otherwise, if you don't wanna stick around to hear the rest of the meeting, you feel free to go. The results will be emailed to you later on, today or tomorrow morning.
Okay, I understand.
Have a great evening.
So I'm just gonna
Motion. Motion.
Yes,
I moved to
Can you
open.
check the stream?
it's going.
It's working. I moved to open discussion on Shameless Challenge.
Alright. Discussion opening for 5 minutes. Shameless challenge. Let's go. Sorry.
I don't really see any particular reason that they shouldn't be a student organization, but they should definitely be encouraged and helped in forming structure, in learning. I mean, of course, after they're approved, they would go through sort of here's how you make a finance board proposal and all of that. But the person who is sort of leading the charge for the organization seems to have very limited to no experience with student organization work. So it would probably be very good for us to follow up and make sure that we can do what we can do to make them successful.
Okay. Alyssa?
I move to vote. Second.
Nice. Were there any other opinions? I didn't see hands, but
Well, like someone said, there's like no reason to not.
okay. The motion
Yeah,
is
the roll-
seconded.
it's like the
And since I
robot.
don't hear any complaints, I'm gonna not
just like the
let
robot.
it go through.
Like the robot thing. I just used to learn about money. He had no idea anything about it. I know what I'm saying. He doesn't.
Okay, voting is now open. You got 30 seconds. Will, how many do we have? Once again, A, yes, B, no, anything else, abstain.
It is on low battery.
18? 19.
No, 18.
Leave. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're good. We're at 18. And the results are 15 yeses, 2 noes, 1 abstain. They pass. Handball.
Motion.
Okay.
I moved to open discussion on handball. Federation.
All right. 5 minutes handball.
So he basically just wants to start the club so he can become an intramural, which is basically so once they're a club, I think like Courtney Bud and like intramurals can basically take care of the rest of it, or like help them get it started.
I have a question maybe I should ask. So, he's attempting to become an intramural. So then would all of his budgeting be kind of handled by Keating, or is it still SAF?
But you need to be an official org in order to become that.
Okay, so
that's why he
Keating would in
needs-
general, they
he
would take
needs
care
to
of.
be approved in order, like not for SAF funding, but in order to be a part of intramurals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keating, yeah.
Okay.
But he would still be able to request from the SAF.
Yes.
As most. Motion to vote.
Wait, I see a hand.
Even though PowerPoint didn't really have a whole lot of information about the club itself, in the questioning, he seemed to do his research. He seems to have talked to the right amount of people, and he has an idea of organization in mind and structure. And it wasn't there, but it was in here. So he definitely knew what he was talking
He's very passionate about it.
Yes, he's very passionate. Move to vote. Second. There you go.
Okay. Starting it is. Yep, seconds. Okay, voting's open.
press the button and it just turns right off.
If it died, go get another one from Will.
I can like throw
Just like my traits.
That's how we break more remotes, Trixie. Thank you.
What?
We have. Oh no, I was gonna say we have one person, and then I realized.
Yeah. Salty is right. You think that there was a problem?
Sorry, brother. We're gonna stay in a way. You didn't know what we were
Okay, we're good. With 16 yeses and 2 nos, handball passes. Moving on. I don't think he's out there, but let me check.
Which is cool.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Next, new business. As I told you, Sender 101s are occurring. I've already had several really good one-on-ones. I think this was good for getting to know what you guys are doing and conveying any concerns. If you have not signed up yet, please make sure you sign up. It should still be open for the rest of this week, next week, and the following week. I prefer if you do it within like next week, but if you really can't find a time next week, try the following week. If nothing that's showing up is working for you for some reason, email me, but yes.
We sign up via Slack or there's an email sent out?
In an email I sent out before, there's a link where it's called like Book Me, and it shows kind of my schedule and just random time slots, so you can just pick any one you want, and it automatically schedules an appointment. That cool? Everyone good? All right. Next, officer reports. President. As President's Day.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
We're going fast today, so everybody's happy, I can tell. So to start with, I have the OTS meeting update. This is kind of what I had on my slide 2 weeks ago. I asked you guys for your opinion, feedback. Go into the OTS meeting where we had to propose 3 projects that we would like to prioritize for OTS to work on for the coming year. We did have that meeting. It was me, William, Sonia, Alyssa, Jelani. The 3 projects that we were able to bring in were the wireless on campus, general improvement of the wireless on campus, and we have the Hawkeye app, the functionality, improving the app itself, and we discussed about adding a function where you can now, well not now, once they make it, hopefully, have reports to public safety immediately through the app. So instead of the current process where you'd have to go, from what I know, get a PDF, fill it out, and file a report to public safety if anything, if your bike is stolen, if anything happens to you on campus, we're hoping to implement something onto Hawkeye for you to do it as easily as possible, because it's faster and we can get more students to actually do it, because when it's so long of a process, some students avoid it. The third point that we discussed was improvements to the My IIT website. Specifically speaking, adding an athletics tab just to learn more about what's going on with athletics and updates, and having SGA presence on My IIT because it does not exist at the moment. So that's for OTS. It's looking good. They still have to present those to the upper management and get feedback from other departments and everything, and then we will get our decision. Events chair, during last week's events committee meeting, we came up with an interest form. I will be sending it out tonight. I have 2 people already interested, but I'll also make an effort to put it out to the students to see if anybody would be interested in joining. And hopefully within a week we'll get applications, we'll have them presented on the next exec board. We usually meet on Wednesdays. We'll select that person by next Senate. We'll have that person here. You guys will vote for them if everything goes smoothly. Student Speak survey coming up October 24th, that's Monday. Who here doesn't know what Student Speak survey is? That's good. All right, so just to brief, since we're being recorded, the survey is, can you open the file that I have? It's one of the PDF. This year we're working with 12 different departments. You can see them on the screen. The departments that we selected are marked with an X on the right side. Can you scroll down a little? We've already contacted them. We've set up the survey questions, and hopefully on Monday the release will happen. I can't remember if it goes for 1 week or 2, but what I want to tell you guys is that 2 weeks. Thanks, Ryan. Make sure you fill out the survey when you can and help spread the word, because it's one of the most effective things that we've had in IT in terms of surveys. And this year we're making further efforts to follow up with the departments as SGA. After they're given the improvements that they're suggested to do, we're gonna start following up with them so that we can hold them to the promises that they made, and we can together see the improvements that they're working on. So when that comes, be ready for it, spread the word, and take it yourself. Any questions? Ethan?
Do you have any updates regarding PSAC?
So, our last PSAC meeting, we discussed the same similar points to what I brought in last time. Our three projects, which are community involvement, IT involved with the greater community, and we have the ticketing system to get input from the students on problems, issues on campus. And the third one was policies and handbook, and how do we streamline the process for that. The only new topic that was brought in, which is public safety, and how do we discuss the things that are happening on campus. It was a discussion that was started. We did not go in depth into it. We're gonna have a second meeting this Sunday for that. What's up? All right. With that being said, any more questions? Tracy?
Is there nothing about like actual like in class? There's no like actual survey of like stuff in class, like academics or like classes and professors and stuff. Or
Not-
am I overlooking?
I don't think it's in student speak at least.
Don't we already have like a Rachel professor thing?
Is that what you're looking for? Student speak tends to be more student life. Sometimes we do student organizations. We get out of it a little bit, but I don't think academics. We did research in the previous year,
Okay.
undergraduate research, but this is what it is on it for this year. If you have ideas, let me know after the meeting. Will?
What was the first thing PSAC was working on? You said
Community involvement?
I'm sorry?
Community involvement, community service. All right. Thank you, guys.
Next, Akash was not able to make it for today, so we'll hear his sort of updates next time. VP Communications, Jelani.
Which David?
So first thing first, happy 21st. Thank you, David.
Happy birthday.
So we have our first community service event with Boys and Girls Club. They're having a haunted house. I think I mentioned this before, but these are like the specifics on the 28th of October. That's a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday. From 4 to 8. They need help from 4 to 6 for setup, and then 6 to 8 is the actual haunted house. You're probably going to be working with people from people like our age all the way down to 10-year-olds. It'll be really fun. You're encouraged to go just to experience the haunted house too. Like I said, it starts at 6. I already have a couple volunteers. They need 3 to 5 for each time frame. He told me to just try to get as many as I could because he figured that I wouldn't get all of the volunteers, all the 10 that they need max. But I'm shooting for that. So if you guys want to help out, if you want to help out, raise your hand right now. I'll come after you after the meeting if you want to help out.
If you're interested in helping out, please raise your hand high.
Yeah, I'll 1, 2. Ethan, you already signed up for if you haven't done the application yet, which is everybody besides Ethan and Nathan. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, cool. I'll give you guys the link because all you have to do is just sign out the application. You don't have to do a background check for this one-time special event. You just have to do the application, then that's it. So I'll just get your emails and I'll email it to you. Yeah, and Ethan is still writing the tech news. The upcoming tech news published this week. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. They did a review of Pixel, I heard, and a whole bunch. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of other stuff too. I think I'm gonna start putting what we write about in tech news on the updates too. But anyway, the website too. David and Kisley and I are all working on that to update it, and yeah.
Oh yeah, the Google form too. But I saw that was. I don't want to take away. Didn't you put that on the Senate
Just do
report?
it, we could save time.
Okay, cool. Well, David's gonna be sending out a Google form because we're gonna be updating the senators. So like the information you guys want to put on there, probably a picture too.
Yes.
Yeah, a picture too, as far as like what picture you want in there. Otherwise, we'll just look at your Facebook profiles. I'm just joking.
Probably take it from the candidate.
Huh? Yeah, but besides like
And
that
if you
stuff,
didn't
because that was
submit
more
one,
like
you get the little Facebook picture as your picture.
a lot of people didn't have pictures for the candidate profiles. But yeah, I saw Ethan saying first.
Yeah, it's kind of like hijack a bit of your time for the tech news part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I still need somebody either from academic affairs or student life to approach me so I can get an article written by this Friday. So if anybody in any of those committees has a project they want documented and publicized, please approach me about it after today.
And this will be your third article, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I start getting
consistent,
paid after this.
Officially consistent.
Nice.
So.
You want to talk about the next meeting we have planned for next
Oh
week?
yeah, I mean, I did want to have something to with the liaison project this next meeting, but I've been thinking about pushing that back a little bit because it's such a big thing for the liaison project. I kind of want to like prep more for it because I'm really disorganized right now, so I don't want to just have an event for no reason, like and not be able to actually plan it well. Soren.
Sort of on the topic of other things that are potentially on the horizon, we had talked in the committee meeting last week about perhaps with website updates also adding something to the website to be sort of a general resource for student orgs so that they could find information about how to do what they need to do without having to go through 15 different sites maintained by different offices of the school. That idea is still an idea right now. It's not quite ready for prime time, but today there was a student org president's luncheon, and I sort of introduced that vague concept, and it seemed that people were very receptive to it. So
The wiki specifically, right?
Hmm?
The wiki you're talking about?
We talked about doing something like a wiki that was editable, but I just introduced the concept of having sort of this one place where people could go that SGA would manage, and people seemed very positive about that as a concept.
Yeah. Forgot to mention that exactly, but yeah. I mean, these are all things that we're trying to come up with in order to combat the lack of knowledge, it seems like, about formal things dealing with organizations, because like especially the newer ones may not know how to do certain things. So that's what that mainly attacks. And yeah, that's all for my updates today. Any questions? Any more questions?
One thing that slipped out of my mind I totally wanted to say is I want you guys all to recognize an honorary guest we have today, Akin. He was the president of student government 2 years ago. So if he sticks around until after the meeting, I encourage you to talk to him, find out what SGA was 2 years. He's a great guy to get to know. He's doing architecture in his last year. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. I completely forgot. Sorry about that.
All right, next we have Chandran for the VP Student Life Report.
Okay, good evening, guys. So currently, last committee meeting, we actually the brainstorming never stopped. It's never end because we'll continuously bring up new ideas to work on. But currently, we listed 12 projects, and there are 4 projects that we are settled to start it from now. And they are student discount card, and we work with OTS, try to create the SGA portal. And great to hear from those updates from OTS meeting, and our center will continue to contact with them to work on this. And also we have vending machine improvement, which we successfully find the person who in charge of that, and also that's one we still need some update. And the things to suggest is our first food advisory board meeting will be next week, next Friday, on October 28th, and everyone is welcome to join us and talk to Sodexo about our food qualities or any ideas you have for them. So welcome to join. Any questions? Okay.
Could you talk a little about what you're hoping to improve in the vending machines?
Oh, vending machines, our center, Kathleen, is working on that, and we are trying to, Caitlin.
Oh, I was just hoping to add a couple more healthier options in the vending machine, some dry goods, like healthier. I mean, I don't know just yet what the actual options are available yet. I'm waiting for Dana Royale to get back to me on that. So once she lets me know what the options are that we can actually put in there, then I'll do a student survey, probably on social media, and try to get them to vote, and also decide where on campus the priority is, like where they want the vending machines at, because I don't think it's possible just now to do it all over campus. She just wants to do it maybe like one specific area or building for now, and see how it goes.
Yeah, then I suggest that we can give some trial first, and then if it works good, we can keep it for future change.
Can you speak a little bit more about your fourth project listed there, speed control?
Yeah, because we have centers suggest, yeah.
There's no speed limit signs on campus
How
anywhere.
true. Okay, so what is the project?
It's the project to be like, put speed limit signs on State Street and on 31st, 33rd, or speed bumps.
Has
Because
any
people
contact
like,
been made with people yet about that?
no, because no one's really assigned to that project, it's kind of just like there. But yeah,
Because it'll end up being governmental.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, with
Yeah,
Chicago.
so you have to work through facilities.
Yeah, but I still
Put it there, see
think
what
they can be like, no, we're not putting speed signs on your school campus.
I think so it's like a city of Chicago thing, cause there's no speed limit signs anywhere in any street in the city of Chicago besides like highways or freeways. So that would be.
Any other questions? Yes, I
Did
can
this-
like half see hands.
Yeah. Wait, what did that complaint come out of?
Oh, you
Like-
mean the speaker?
Me
Yeah.
almost getting hit by a car.
We're
Oh,
trying.
so it was a specific instance.
Because we
It's just-
find there
But
are
like
some.
if a car is going like 50 miles
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour between
I
like
understand.
walkways, like
Yeah, especially on
Oh.
State Street, sometimes we just wanna cross the street, but we just see a car just
Right.
flash.
Or sometimes they don't stop.
Yeah, if we cannot
Okay.
get some kind of like speed control, we're trying to add some speed bump, something like that, or some signs just suggesting here is a school area, please slow down, slogans like that. Yeah, we're going to figure out.
Yeah, because last student meeting sometimes, like especially on State Street near Crown Hall, because haven't there been several incidents of students getting hit near Crown Hall?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
their
a really
accidents
bad area.
happened.
People don't care about shit all right there.
Any questions?
Alright, next we have, there we go, finance board, so in.
Okay, so hello
Hey
everyone.
guys, if we could bring it back, please.
So hello everyone. The second hearing of this fall semester has just recently finished. This last Saturday. Some of you have read the Tech News article, so some of you get the gist of what was happening during the hearing itself. We heard 63 organization. A total of 280,000 was proposed, and 150,000. Oh, I think that's off by 10,000. 160,000 was allocated. We're currently getting special hearings from a lot of organizations because some of the budgets, we told them to repropose if they have things missing or if they disagree with anything with our decision. So we're currently taking special hearings. If we do deny your special hearing, you can always ask for a judicial board request. Judicial board appeal, that would be by sending an appeal on Hawklink. That's the first thing you should do, and then following up with an email through sga@jboard@iit.edu. Final thing that I want to say is we're actually looking for new members to join finance board. I know all of you are in Senate, so unfortunately you can't join. Maybe Akin would like to join on the last year.
Shaking the head.
Jokes aside, we are always excited to get new members. I've already got an interest emails from several people, so we will be looking through all the candidates very soon. Just keep an eye out for new flyers and emails being sent out. Plus, keep your ears open for any news regarding this. Yes.
How many open seats do you have?
We have currently 2 open seats. Plus, I will be recruiting a 3rd one because one of my members will be leaving by the end of this semester, and we want to make sure we train the new members as quickly as possible so they can get in and out into their duties. Next slide, please. This is I'm showing you the distribution of funds. About 1/3 of it was through programming, 1/3 of it was capital items, 25% of it was conference. As you can see, projects on campus is 0%, but it's in reality 0.001%. Basically, here's the thing: some of the programming events sometimes overlap with the projects, but if it's purely in projects, it's about 1%. Programming prices and giveaways and operations are pretty set because they fall under $200 for prices and $40 for operation. So that's always a small amount. But it looks like we're starting to get into a nice solid stabilization on programming, capital items, and conference this round. And I think that's it. Questions?
This is just a general question.
Yes.
When you are looking at what people request,
Yes.
and it's through like they are accounting for charges through the school, like for reserving like a room and like AV and things like that.
Yes.
Do you guys know what those charges typically are to make sure it's the correct amount that they're asking?
That's what something that's very important for finance board is that you actually give us all forms of supporting documents. So if you don't give us a quote for those reservations, we do not allocate money as a result. So often enough, we either tell them to repropose in the next hearing, or if it's a little more urgent, sometimes we tell them to repropose as soon as they can with the actual quotes. Usually we have the advising sessions, and that's where we look through the budget and filter that as quickly as possible. So if you don't have the quotes for the reservations, we tell them to get it right away so we can give them funds in the hearing. If we don't get it by the time of the hearing because we overlooked it or it did not get added, we always go back to the organization and try pressuring them to actually give it to us so we can actually allocate them funds. If it's kind of blatant and clear that it's not present, we tend to cut it to 0 and tell them to repropose next time around.
Like what I'm asking is because sometimes like charges through the school can be really unclear because they're from different like parts of the school.
Yes.
And it's like there's no one set place where all those things are located that I could find for orgs to look what they're gonna be charged. And what I've experienced through orgs is that we can reserve something or we order something and we're told we're not charged anything yet, but they could give us that bill later on.
Okay. On that scenario, great questions you're asking. I hope this is everyone's like hearing this out and sharing it to all your respective friends, organizations, and such. And hopefully people are watching the live stream. If something like that ever happens, where you're given a quote and event services or whoever you're getting the reservations from tells you that you're not gonna get charged, but later on you get charged, that's completely out of your control. And you can always come back to finance board, ask for a special hearing, and we will always try helping you out as much as possible. If it's something clearly and blatant where you never, in the initial run, you didn't propose for, and just you later come out, oh yeah, we forgot about this, then that becomes more of a gray issue. But if it's more on the side that you got a quote initially and things suddenly change and it's way out of your control, we will always.
It says they're allowed to like change that, you know.
Which one?
Like in fine prints of like when you're first given the quote,
Yes.
you're allowed to change it.
We always try making sure that no organization is penalized for those reasons, and you can always ask for a special hearing.
I was asking because if there's an easier way to prevent that from happening.
The easiest way would be that's kind of hard because you need the funds to get the events the reservations done. It's not like you can get the reservations done, ask for a special hearing right away, and then get the funds. There's set dates for proposing for money. As long as you get an initial quote, we know you're at least having the plans for holding the event. We'll give you the funds as much as we need to, as per the quote. And then if there's ever a mistake or an adjustment or something crazy that goes on, we'll always follow up with you. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Next we have the leadership board chair. Son.
So apparently finance board did a really good job last hearing, because like judicial board hasn't had any appeals so far. Either way, just a reminder that like the deadline to submit an appeal for finance board is this Sunday, October 23rd at 11:59 p.m. And also, as you guys know, we have some vacancy in the Senate, and if the Senate think that you want to fill these vacancy, then we will need the Senate to vote to open the nomination, and after that, SGA can send out the advertisement and tell, hey, everybody, there's an opening, and they will apply. And hopefully by next Senate hearing, we have all the candidates here, and the Senate is gonna be the one who vote for them to be in the Senate. So, do you have any question for me about this, or are you guys ready to discuss or vote to open the nomination? I think that's a yes. Yes. Oh, yeah.
I move to open discussion for 2 minutes.
Alright, discussion for 2 minutes. Starts now.
I think it would be, like, it couldn't be a bad thing to have more people here. It's just, like, more opinions and, like, more sides to, like, viewing orgs and, like, more ideas. And so, I mean, if people are actually interested in coming, then I think it would be good to open up nominations again.
Just a clarification, would we limit the openings to only that school then?
Yes,
Or
the limit is in the slide.
You know, you're getting replaced.
No.
Only the sorry, what?
No, that's what I was asking. It's like, would we open like those vacant seats? Would we open that to all of Illinois
No.
Tech or just the college itself?
Just to the colleges.
Okay.
So the requirement for the candidate is the same as the requirement for you guys when you like ran for Senate.
Sorry, did you have your hand?
I forgot what it was.
Okay, Bill?
Did you say that the Senate votes them in?
Yeah,
Is that true?
that is true.
Motion to vote.
Just point of information first. Do you know what margin that is? Is that a pure majority or is it 2/3 or
Majority,
3/4?
50%.
Okay.
Move to
Oh,
vote.
I can't move.
I say move to vote.
Second.
People think it's a command now. Check. Oh, I just moved.
Alright, we're going to voting. Opening up the voting now. A means yes, we're opening up these seats to be filled. B means no, we're not. C means don't care. Don't vote C. Okay. One person. Alright. It's always a one person. Let's find out. 16 yeses, 2 nos. The seats are now open. Clap for these seats. Oh, why?
It's been signed out.
If you do know anybody from the School of Architecture, the College of Sciences, or Applied Technology, please.
I would like to nominate someone special.
Good God.
I just wanted to kind of clarify that Savvy used to be a senator for the College of Architecture, but unfortunately, since she's changing majors, she's no longer able to represent the College of Architecture anymore, which is why she stepped down and we have that position open, in case anybody was wondering.
What did she change to?
I believe she's in engineering,
Business.
which was business, which was already filled, so we couldn't. Thought about that too. We're like, hey, if you're one of the, no, just kidding. All right. Moving on.
I understood.
So the way that's gonna work is like what Son was saying. Now that the seats are open, we're gonna reach out to the deans to have them email the students within the colleges, and we'll try to send out a mass email to everybody. Tell anybody that you know that fits into these colleges that their openings, especially if you are from these schools, Applied Technology, Ethan, and then College of Science, reach out to anybody you know, maybe talk in your classes, let them know, and then Senate, you guys will vote afterwards. Sound good? Yes.
College of Science different than College of Human Sciences?
Yes. They're separate colleges. Anybody else? We're good? Alright. No events coordinator right now, although we're on thinking about, we do wanna have one town hall before the end of the semester, so just be looking forward to that once we kind of decide upon a topic and bring that here. We'll let you guys know. Senator reports, David already mentioned it through Jelani on, yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to?
No.
Okay. So, open floor. Jelani, you already beat me to this, but like, happy birthday
He's on my
again.
committee, so I mean, thought it was.
I have a fancy candle picture.
Yeah, I was
This is
gonna put
true.
I was gonna put smiley face
Happy
too.
birthday
To
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear David. Happy birthday to you.
Alright, now we gotta move to open floor. Nathan, first, I'll start it off with you.
Okay, so let's stand up. Be more official. Hey. Thank you. I feel much more official. I talked to the dean of the College of Science, and he and a bunch of people, they just redesigned life sciences. Like they just recently finished it, and they're now gonna redesign the Stewart building. And it's good. Computer science major, so it's really good. And he wants feedback from students on two things: how they're liking the life science renovation and their receptiveness towards the Stewart redesign. So, yeah.
The fact that life science now is like colorful as opposed to Stewart and how it's brown.
Yeah. I agree.
So color. It doesn't have to be red either, like how it's like blue and red in life science.
Yeah, I
whatever.
like life
Yeah,
science.
me too.
It makes me a little bit happier.
Yeah.
Just saying it's just a little bit.
Isn't Stewart a newer building compared to some of the buildings we already have on campus that kind of need a little more sprucing up? Like, I know over the summer they had like really bad ACs and like the desks were breaking and there was like wax on the floor. I'm just saying, like, isn't Stewart a little more newer? Or no?
Yes.
Yes, right?
It's technically the
Um,
newest
Yeah.
academic building campus.
Deal?
I kind of sense where your question is coming from, and to my best knowledge, this was a specific donation from a specific person who graduated from the College of Science, Chris Gladwin. There might have been more donors, but I know he was interested in improving things around that building, which is why that money is going into that building specifically. It was not a choice done by anything besides that.
He's also raising money towards the building. I think I remember correctly, but there's a lot of money going into this renovation. I think it was in the hundreds of millions.
I saw, Jay, you had your hand up, and Soren, and do you, not anymore? Wait, okay.
What, me?
Did you have your hand up?
No.
Okay, Soren.
I was just gonna give a little more background on that. I used to be a senator for the College of Science, and this conversation has been ongoing. Last year, Chris Gladwin, who is the founder of CleverSafe, CleverSafe was sold to IBM for more than $1 billion after it was a 10-year-old company at the time. So the school is essentially courting all of CleverSafe's top staff and its co-founders, and that pool of money is what's being used to fund renovations to Stewart, because CleverSafe came out of our incubator program down near the tower and is a computer science-based company. In addition to that, sort of the justification for renovating Stewart is that it is, unlike sort of alumni, is obviously a building that needs some serious help, but Stewart is the center for the computer science program, which is a large program, and it is a program that's sort of in which having up-to-date facilities and up-to-date equipment is very important, and that sort of informs the rationale as well.
I just meant like the basic stuff for those buildings, you know, like
being able to sit in the class.
And I'm
without,
sure that
like,
everybody can understand those frustrations, like even at residence halls are an ongoing conversation as well, basic amenities in different spaces.
So I saw the blueprints for the Stewart and Stewart building redesign. Yeah, like you know how Retaliata looks? It's basically gonna be like a little tiny Retaliata in here. It's gonna be blue and green and like fun things, and you're just gonna look around and say like, I'm happy to be at IIT instead of like walking and
Can't wait.
Ugly.
and like
Taylor?
dismal.
I have a question. Are the bathrooms gonna be part of the redesign?
Yes.
Are they? Good.
He said there's too many men's bathrooms and not enough women's.
Yes.
He said that it's finally time to start giving women bathrooms.
Yes. What do you think? It's a revolution.
Also,
Yeah.
will we
Big
still
bathroom
get free printing?
What?
What?
Because we're in this lab, like
If you print in this lab from the
No
computers,
way.
it's free.
Color?
Alyssa,
It's
are
40
you
cents.
sure? I think it's, you don't put in your, from
I
what
don't
it,
log into my thing though.
no, Alyssa, that's what I'm saying, it automatically takes it, cause
Yeah.
you log into the computer. Found that out when I tried to do that last week.
That's where it's been going.
Prints in the lab is free.
What?
Prints in like the actual lab.
That's what I mean, in the actual lab. I
Actual
heard
lab,
from the
not
person
in
who
the-
works there though that you don't have to put in your username in there, so it seems like it's free. But that's because you log into your account when you go into the computer, so it automatically takes it.
You can check all your transactions.
Yeah.
on
It's
IIT.
a different printer too. It says Stewart Building 112 laser. Like it's not. It's not IIT black and white printer. It's like a different
Yeah,
printer.
because it's not like the remote printing where you need to put in your name and then print it from their computer. That's why it's automatic.
Yes.
Because you're printing to that one. Outrage.
I see.
Okay, this is a very extensive conversation on the printing of Sora, which at one point we should figure out whether or not we're actually getting gypped or it's free printing. But back to this discussion. Soren.
Yeah, sort of getting back to that discussion, sort of topic-wise, is there anything about Retaliata or the whatever they've rechristened Life Sciences now, Pritzker Science Center, that is negative in its renovation, something that can be refined and improved?
So ignore the bathrooms in the basement. Or on the second floor. Or on the second floor.
Okay. What about is there a
There's no
basement here
I
that's
don't know.
Yes.
Yes, there is.
it's being used?
It's scary.
Yes.
Carlos Vasquez
It's
being
scary.
used to be down there. It was really creepy.
You guys use it as well for office hours.
Okay, so he showed me blueprints for the first floor, but I guess I just assumed that he was doing the second floor. They don't do the second floor?
Yeah, they didn't do the left hand side either.
Oh, really?
If we can, we should ask about that.
Women's bathrooms on the first floor, for sure.
I think the sensors are a little bit too sensitive when it comes to the toilet flushing and the sinks, the dryers and the thing. It's like you barely have to kind of go near it for it to start the water and the soap and all that coming out and then the toilet flushing, so it ends up wasting more water, I think.
Which is expensive. That's expensive.
Got $1 billion.
Hundreds of millions.
Any other questions or points of feedback? Goals are, hey guys, can we limit the side conversations, please? Goals are.
Okay, so wait, is this money, when they said that, when this money was given, did they say we want this to go to Stewart?
Yes. And so what I got from him in this, it wasn't really detailing it like exactly. He was just like a really like chill conversation. He was like vaguely saying things, and I was like, it was a lot. But so they got this initial sum of money, and then they've been contacting alumni and raising more to go towards the Stewart. I don't know the exact price estimate. It wasn't exact, and I'm gonna say a number, but it's not probably right. So I feel like I might as well not say it.
The initial Gladwin donation was under $10 million, and it wasn't earmarked specifically for the building. It was earmarked for the creation of endowed professorships, scholarships, and so on. But then everything that's come afterward has been specifically a campaign for building improvement.
I'm gonna give this discussion 2 more minutes. We've gone over 10 minutes, but because we've been doing okay on time and the discussion's going well, I let it go
Sorry,
over 2 last minutes. Jay, then.
Did you run like a
poll or like a survey for like computer science or like?
I have been. I'm actually bringing it up. If everybody can talk to people, I guess that would be a good thing actually to make a survey and give them some computer science or just anybody using Stewart College of Science. But if you just talk to people who are either using life sciences now, or they're using Stewart now, or they know enough about renovations, this goes for everybody. And you can just get a general sense of feedback. That'd be great. So I can meet back up with the dean and tell him, because he really, really wanted feedback. That was really important to him.
There's Gia and then Melissa.
I just wanted to mention one of the things that I really like about like the new life sciences building is the outdoor study space. So I think it would be nice to have something like that at Stewart also.
Sort of on that topic, when I spoke with Dean Betts in the past, part of the school's overall philosophy going into these renovations has been trying to reorient foot traffic along that central footlight lane on campus. So at the time, and this was longer ago than this conversation is happening, so I don't know if these plans have changed, but that western entrance to the building was supposed to be a large part of the renovation.
Oh, I forgot. He wants to make a crosswalk too. That's easier to get, so you don't have to wait. He said Stewart's very isolated right now, so instead of having to wait at the light to cross, there's gonna be like you know how we have the crosswalks say from MTCC to the other side of campus. There's gonna be a similar crosswalk to get to Stewart, which will be nice since that's what makes me late when I wake up here. It's gonna be the other side.
Like by
crosswalk.
Stewart Field?
Like in between the field and.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of people know it.
Yeah, that's what I got from him, but I will. You know what? I'll double check.
Do you know
before
what
I
they're
give you
planning on
100%.
doing
But yeah, what?
You know, like when they're planning on doing this?
Soon.
Wow. Cool. Cool. Like summer-ish, probably?
Yeah, like very soon. It should
That's
be.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So this project's realer and realer by the second.
If you have any other feedback to give to Nathan, please tell him afterwards or talk to him separately. College of Science senators, please reach out to Stewart students or like computer science students, and anyone in general actually reach out to computer science students or anyone that you know that takes classes in Stewart to kind of get their feedback as well. Next in the topic of discussion is, should there be a Senate seat for athletics? We have Olivia here, who has been coming to our Senate meetings and our committee meetings kind of as a representative for athletics, and it's SAC, or can you tell me?
SAAC. Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Okay, thank you. So the Senate seat would be for SAAC, and the discussion is to kind of talk about whether or not a seat should be opened up for that. One counterpoint that I had heard to this is, if we did open up a seat for a certain population on campus, such as athletes, then would that open a whole doorway for other populations to also request Senate seats? I will open up discussion for that now. Sorry.
So I think that's a valid concern, but athletes on campus, and I'm saying this as somebody who has never set foot in Keating, athletes on campus have a very unique set of challenges as students in terms of scheduling, in terms of various things related to being an athlete, that sort of in similar vein to how we have a senator from our Residence Hall Association, because residents have a specific set of issues. We have a senator for, well, theoretically, we have a senator for graduate students, and we have a senator for commuter students. These are all groups that are large and have very unique challenges. Whereas having a senator from like union board or large student organizations, while those are large presences on campus, their function is broadly similar to a number of other organizations on campus. So I think that it makes sense to add an athletic senator.
Okay. So Will, Nathan, Sungmin.
I don't think that their unique set of challenges merits a Senate. They're already, or a unique, like a specifically designated senator. They are already represented by their living arrangements, whether they're commuter or in the residence halls, and they're also represented within their school population. So I don't think there should be another Senate seat added for a specific organization. that that's not already dealing with like living arrangements, like CSA or RIT.
Nathan?
After our handball club presentation today, I just think it'd be good to have somebody who can represent and answer questions regarding athletics.
Okay, Sungmin?
Well, I was going, the comment that you made, I was going to follow up, make the same comment. Basically, if any of the students who are in athletics feel like they have any issues, they can bring it up to their RHA members, their CSA member, anyone who is supposed to represent them. That's why all the housing, the Greek Council, and that's why every housing organization on campus has been reached, so every student can eventually be reached in one way or another.
Alyssa, then Trixie, and then Olivia.
Just a direct comment to, what is her name again? Nathan?
It's
Okay,
on
yeah.
the board.
I know. Oh yeah, okay, Nathan, there are, like, I know you said, like, someone who can, like, answer questions about athletics. Like, we do have a couple of athletes in here who can, like, answer questions like that. But, to, like, you and Will, I think would also be nice that if athletics could, like, have a presence here, because they're, like, an important part of a school, like, a school community, and they're important to the student life. And so I don't think it would be bad to just have one more person, especially if it's like she's also.
Before I have Trixie, point of clarification for that, Alyssa. Regardless of if a seat is open or not, of course, a representative from SAAC will always be welcome. Like, Olivia's been to our meetings and stuff like that, and even if it's decided that there isn't going to be a seat, know that, like, you're always going to be welcome to, like, bring up opinions, represent whatever, like that. And now Trixie.
I think it would be really important to have that because athletes make up a very, very large part of the student community here. And I think that, yes, they can, like, if they have an issue, come talk to someone about it, but judging from how few people actually come to senators with issues, that's not really a realistic expectation. Or it would also be good, like Alyssa said, to have someone who actually knows the issues and knows kind of like the ropes of what an athlete goes through on a day-to-day life here, and what would, like, if something was to be brought up as an issue, they would be well equipped to deal with it and to make, decisions about it.
I'll let Olivia go and then Gosa.
Okay, so I think the purpose of SAC wanting to have someone have a presence in SGA is not really to give our complaints. I think the point of SAC was created to act as a liaison between the athletes and the people in charge of athletics, the coordinators, yeah. So if we have our problem, if the athletes have their problems, they go to them. And I don't think we would have any potential issues that we would present to SGA. I think we want to have a presence here just so that we can have we can be tied in with SGA. We want to know what's going on with different events on campus, and because we sit in our meetings and we make our own little events and we're in our own little world, it feels like. And I feel like that's kind of how it is for a lot of the athletes feel on campus. We're all we're tied together, but we're up here way in the north corner of campus, and we feel disconnected from the rest of the events and things that happen on campus. So I think my role was created so that I can be just the liaison between SAC and SGA.
Gosa.
And also, let's remember that athletics here at IIT is growing very, very rapidly too, especially becoming D3. So with that, instead, having someone from SAC to come in to have that extra person here to answer those questions, to be that person that we can turn to, I think it will be very beneficial, even though we do have athletes on Senate. And another thing is, even though that someone is still able to go to the senator for RHA or go to someone who's a senator for Greek Council, still they're gonna know who Olivia, right? Yeah, Olivia is because they see her at Keating, they know who she is, they know that she's that person that I can go, that this person can go to, like that Jamie's the person that I can go to for youth council. So having that one person, I think, will be beneficial for this growing athletic population.
Before I get to you guys, is there anyone from this side of the room that wants to say something? I feel like we are very centered over here, and before we get you guys to speak again, Adina.
If we're being honest, like, the only powers you get as a senator is to approve organizations and, like, other things. It's, like, not that big of a deal. I mean, like, whether you become a senator or not, you know? I mean, I don't want to, like, disrespect the position or anything, but it's, like, it's kind of like, you know, it's just a position you're voted into, and, you know, it's just, like, a way to qualify, like, validate that you're here and that, like, you should always be here, you know? It kind of, reinforces the fact that, like, there's the connection between us, and as SGA, we already have a problem that nobody knows who we are on campus and nobody knows what we do, and if we have people who are always here from different parts of the school, they're gonna know what we're doing and be able to relay that information back to more people.
Okay, so I saw Soren, Will, Alyssa, Sungmin.
I think that we should take the role and the potential power of Senate very seriously in modifying its own constitution, creating new duties, and so on and so forth. But I believe that that's part of my motivation for supporting having a senator for athletics. Many of the special, I'm gonna say special interest senators, though that term doesn't sit well with me to begin with, but many of the special Senate seats that we have are filled for the specific purpose of providing a voice for a specific community. So yes, somebody can go to their academic senator, but if the residents come together and say, we want this particular thing to change, they go to the RHA senator. They go to RHA and RHA says to their senator, why don't you partner with SGA and do a project? And that person becomes the go-to who leads and cooperates on projects. Every single project that would have to do with athletics in SGA, we would have a go-to person, somebody who's an expert in that area, somebody who knows what they're doing. And I don't know if that needs to be formalized, but I think it would be beneficial if it was.
What?
My argument is that athletes will be overrepresented compared to everyone else, because they're now going to have almost like a third senator representing them in Senate, as opposed to everyone else who will have two.
But don't a lot of people, oh, sorry, I have to speak now.
What?
I mean, like, don't a lot of people, like, live on campus, but we still have an RHA?
Perfect, and the people who don't, we have CSA.
Right, but, like, we're either one or the other.
Exactly,
And if
but
you're not, you're in good
do we
counsel.
have a non-athletic senator?
Yes, everyone else, yeah.
I think Will's point, to clarify for that one, was at least that the reason we have RHA and CSA as like the specialized ones is to kind of represent the living arrangements, at least in that aspect. I think it's a little different than saying like athletes versus everybody else, because it's not exactly the living arrangements. That would be like athletes versus drama people versus gaming versus that, if we're talking about like grouping specific. I'm not saying in a point of whether or not that should be, but just as a clarification purpose. Let's just go down this row. Oh, sorry, Alyssa was first, and then let's go down the row.
My only thing is that like all the senators here were like voted on by their communities to be in. So like nothing against Liv because I love you, but like I feel like maybe it would be, if we wanted to have an athlete senator, then like maybe athletes could be like, oh, I think that would be a good liaison between athletes and this, and I'm gonna run for it. And then athletes could be like, hey, yeah, this would be a good person to represent us in the like student government, like, and then vote on it, as opposed to like it just like being brought forth. Like I don't know how you do it for like RHA or that kind of thing, but just because it is such a big group of people, like that's my only thing. And also like the voting power like is kind of important, which is why it's like if you're voted into it, then like that means those people support what you're voting for. That's my only thing.
The a big thing, like, I feel is, like, SGA, there's not always gonna be a senator that's in athletics, but if we have a senator that represents athletics, they will understand what both athletes go through in, like waking up at, like, 5:30 for 6 a.m. practice, if not earlier, or, like, having a game and, like, trying to schedule all that. Like, they understand, like, on top of your academics, you have to do athletics, and then they can bring the challenges that they face to SGA and can help a bigger part of the community that athletics is.
Okay. Just as a call, we have 5 minutes before this discussion will be capped. Trixie.
So one, Olivia, how do you get onto student athlete advisory committee?
So, like every new year, the current, okay, so if someone graduates and they're not on the team anymore, there has to be 2 representatives for each varsity team. So it's like your captains or your current SAC representative discusses with the coach, and they pick together, and they talk, weigh their options about who they think would be a good representative for their team, and so that's who's chosen to be on SAC. It's very informal, and so there's like 26 members. There's 13 varsity teams. 26.
So it's, I mean, even if it's informal, it's like still a selection process that occurs at least a little bit, and I think that honestly, like, the biggest thing is that, like what Jake said about there's not always going to be an athlete in here. It'll offer a perspective that not all of us are always going to be guaranteed to be able to provide, and I think that's really important.
To talk about the representation thing, whatever, of athletes or whatever, I could be living in the residence halls, so then I can say, as an elected senator, even though I'm elected through my college, here's something that I think is wrong with the residence halls. And as someone that lives in a Greek house, I can still come here as an elected senator and say, this is what I like, this is a problem with the Greeks. Like, it doesn't matter that I'm elected through Greek Council or I'm elected through RHA, that I'll say something. I'll still say something because I'm an elected senator. But having someone specifically for athletics that will come here just for that, and have that opinion, I don't think we should limit just because there are more athletes than whatever. Because we have a Greek Council senator, but there's 3 Greeks right here. So that's something that I'm going to combat.
Can we look for new ideas from whoever's trying to talk for the care of time?
Just capping in like 3 minutes anyway.
Yeah, there's 3 minutes until it caps. Are there any point of views that are different or like vastly different than what we've discussed already? Also, anyone who hasn't spoken yet that wants to share something. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying something completely different.
Okay, if there's no new ideas, then I'm gonna go to Soren.
So as senators, you are representatives of different student populations. So I'd say that this decision doesn't necessarily need to be made during this debate, and that it should be very important for all of you to go back and consult those populations about what they might think about athlete representation in the body that then represents them to the administration of the university as a whole.
Yeah, going off of Soren's point, the vote will not be done tonight. It will be done at the next Senate because since this could become a constitutional change, it does need the 1 Senate advanced notice. I wanted to bring it up today, obviously, to start the discussion so that you can go out and ask. You should go out and ask your peers, people from your colleges, to what they think about this too, to represent their point of view, and we will vote at the next Senate. Will?
Okay, just like my last point is right now we have an equitable distribution of like student populations, the way and how they are represented, right? Like every college, there's a formula for how many senators they get, and same thing with like living arrangements where everyone's got a senator. If you add this senator, you're throwing off that equity.
This is
Yeah,
another
1 minute
discussion
left, yeah.
question. So for the next Senate meeting, when we actually vote, will we have a discussion before?
I can open a brief discussion beforehand, but it will not be the 15 minutes it is today.
I have a question. So if in case someone overlaps with RHA a college of engineering, I guess, and athletics. How does the running system work? Can you run for all three, or do you have to nominate yourself for only one of them? Only one of them? Okay.
Yeah, only one. If you
So-
are an official senator, you cannot be like RHA and College of Science or something.
I did bring this up. There's technically nothing in the Constitution saying that, and we should probably change that.
So,
Could you not run for all?
okay. With that, I'm gonna close discussion. Oh wait, okay. Since Akin won't be with us next time, we'll let Akin say.
Thank you. I'm not going to die.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Please don't die.
Well, I was just kind of thinking of the arguments, and it's if I may comment, it's just wonderful to see that people still care on campus, still care enough to be part of the Senate, still care enough to come out here for the meetings, still care to do all the different stuff you guys are working on. I think that's personally fantastic. I think we're the only organization on this campus that has consistently cared for all of this history, and that really is the absolute point. Now, just to offer a different perspective on the athletics issue is, I kind of find this idea of the athletic senator limited only to varsity athletics. Why is it, could this person not also represent intramural athletics or recreational athletics and all of the above? Why does it have to be just varsity?
I guess going
that
off
would
of this.
solve the problem of ethics, right? Then you'd have it.
In theory, actually, yeah.
I think going off of that point, it would be if we were to get the Senate seat and we agree upon that it should represent all athletics, then I think that would have to be something that, like what Alyssa was kind of suggesting, that the athletes would have to vote on versus SAAC specifically.
I think there are too many athletes that are involved in varsity and intramural and all of the above. So I'm a varsity athlete and I'm on SAC, which is made up of varsity athletes. So that would have to be something discussed, like if there would be another representative for intramurals or whatever. I don't.
As a varsity athlete, can you even play intramurals?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it depends on if your coach will let you or not. But there's no rules against it.
I think from that more, it would be not necessarily that you need to find someone who fits in all those things, but it would be like that whole population has to be able to vote or like be eligible to fill that seat. Kind of like how for colleges you have College of Science. You're not going to have someone who's a major of every type of College of Science, but that anyone from the College of Science can run to be a College of Science senator. Yeah, so broadening it up to not just, if it was just SAAC, it means only varsity athletes would be able to hold this position versus anybody from intramural or other
So
athletes.
it wouldn't be like a SAC senator.
Yeah, it would be an athlete senator versus. And with that, I'm going to close this one. Are there any other open floor discussion points, Sungmin?
I just want to make a comment regarding a comment that was said in the middle of on the previous conversation where senators seem to only vote for organizations. I do know that Soren touched on this topic. I want to emphasize that Senate actually has a huge role on campus. They're a very powerful group here on campus. They can pass any organization that they deem fit, and from there, organizations can grow and develop. You're creating entire communities on campus. At the same time, you can dissolve them completely. Yeah, if you know about dissolve. Yeah. You could dissolve them. You have the power to impeach Leo if you want to.
Right now, who's it?
I mean, you can get rid of them all.
I just meant like it wouldn't like shift the whole dynamic of being a senator. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that makes sense.
a
But
position.
you also have access to a lot of, you're in liaison to a lot of faculty on campus, deans on campus, administration on campus, you start projects on campus. You have a lot of resources where you can actually start doing a lot of great things on campus. So I do believe it's a very powerful and impactful part of SGA. So hopefully a lot of the new senators, I hope you don't get into the mindset that you're just here to build organizations in. You have a lot of projects you can do. You can meet people, meet your deans, help out your school. You have a lot of representation and power here on campus. So with your hard work and with your help, we can actually make everything great.
Yeah, kind of just briefly going off of what Sungmin was saying. obviously as a senator, I get the point that you were trying to make with that, but I, like, along with what he was clarifying, senators do have more of a role than voting. A lot of times when administration asks for people, student representatives, or feedback on committees, the first place they go to is SGA and senators specifically. They'll be like, we need a couple people to serve on this committee or this council or give back feedback, or like Alyssa was there at the OTS meeting. And that's because you guys are senators, that you're the first point of reference they'll go to. Akin.
Just to give historical context to this. Like I said, I used to run as the student government, so I'm just like Leo. I think Ryan is kind of one of the few people who was at IIT even before I got here. And just to give you kind of context on kind of the power of the Senate, like he said, you have the power to create entire communities. So almost imagine IIT without the BOG, RHA, Union Board, any of the major organizations you think of, SAC included. That wouldn't be the same campus it looks like. And now the second importance of the power that you have as senators is administrative. And sometimes it's not you going up to this game and saying, we want to have unicorns to ride to class every day. It's sometimes a little prodding, a little tugging and pushing that gets things done on campus. You guys help facilitate raising of money for this university. You guys help facilitate academic improvement on this campus. You guys generally make life better for people. So I want you to, like I said, it's important that you guys care. So I want you guys to never underestimate the power that you've had. When I got to IIT, the first time I ever saw a Senate meeting wasn't like this, right? We let everybody's casually dressed. Everybody there was wearing black tie. That was how they dressed for every single meeting. That was how it was when I first came to IIT, and it was in this really dark room. You guys know the Pritzker Club, right? You know how it's kind of shady and dark. That's where it was. You couldn't even see the people you were talking to. Your presenter. It was really creepy, and then they vote with cards and everything, like a little auction on your student board. So it was kind of strange, but the interesting thing about those guys is that even though they're more formal than we are and very powerful, they're not even remotely as powerful as this current Senate is. The person who signed on President Cram to become President Cram was at some point a senator. So just to give you guys perspective, that's the power of this organization. That's the power of what you guys have. So never underestimate that. You guys are the only people on this campus who are mandated by your position to think about the entire school. Nobody else has to care about the entire university. So, I never want you, and I hate to, I'm not taking shots at you, but I just like to clarify the importance. That's it, the only thing I'm able to do here tonight, is the importance of your position here. And I'd like you guys to also reach for the stars. Whatever you can imagine that would be better for the university, go for it. If you think every university student at IIT should drive a BMW, if you think you can make it work, go ahead and make it. No, really, go ahead and make it work. I know it sounds very, very ambitious, but at some point, having a spot on campus where people could go and drink and chill and hang out was like the most ridiculous thing in the world. The BOG was like, and they told us know a lot, not me. The people who went and did it know a lot of times. Ryan right here when we got the BOG? No. Okay, Ryan's not even that old, but it's just kind of giving you perspective on how much the SGA has done on this campus. The senators have done on this campus. So continue to do more stuff because that's your obligation. You can't just be here for 1 year or whatever term you spend there and not affect this campus in one way. So focus on doing that and whatever that looks like. Please go ahead.
Do you have something quick to say?
Yes. I love what I'm hearing. I don't want to take away from anything that was said, but I do feel obligated and I want to speak more to it since it's been brought up. I've been with SGA for 3 years and I'm really passionate about this group. I did start as a senator. I was a committee member before that. Just to add a little more with the minute that we have left here, I think, back to you guys. Some other things you guys can keep in mind is that, from what I know, this is the only body that is voted in by the entire student body, right? You can be in any student organization you want. Nobody opens up to the student body to select you, right? We're the only ones that truly represent the student voice, and it's up to us where we take that, right? Some of the other functions that were necessarily not brought up, for example, with the initiative that I'm trying to make, you guys will have the power to sit on committees that are involved specifically with departments. I'm currently working with the provost to make that happen, but I'm planning to give certain senators the power to help make decisions in departments like student health, public safety, and you're going to be representing your students there. You're not going to be representing yourself. So there's a lot of value to that. And one more thing I wanted to add is that a lot of the discussions we have here do not just end here, right? We as exec board, which primarily all I do is talk to the administration day in, day out about things that I hear from you guys, because 2 years are not enough. I don't know, I'm not gonna do the math, but all of you here are my ears and eyes on campus. And everything that I get to hear from you guys here is what I take to the administration. And from that, the conversation continues and we can keep pushing up there. So yes, there's a lot of value to that. I hope you learned a little bit from what everybody else said. And I would love to have this conversation because I know it's always on the back of your mind. So moving forward, if you ever have questions or things about that, reach out to any of us. But yeah, just wanted to add. Thank you.
So this last point of discussion, we're gonna discuss it next time really briefly, but then we're gonna vote as well. Make sure you go out and ask everyone. And Ethan, do you have a motion?
Barring no other objections and before I lose consciousness from illness, I move to adjourn. Second.
Meeting adjourned.
If we're going to talk about the volunteer for the boy the rest of thing, please.
Cups $10 too.
Anybody who wants an article written at some point in the next 2 days, assuming I'm still alive, please approach me now. Oh God.
Like I said, it's completely real that I have to get a science center.
Sorry.
No, I'm just related to me. Yes.
No, it's not my It's 2 David.
Oh!
And then I need a lot of what if like how hours I don't even like anymore then but have like I know but like it's kind of like I can see you.
Other day to see it? Yeah, I know. I'll be over in a second.
Power trip. We're going on a power trip. All clubs are going to be destroyed.
So it's you
guys think I'm kidding?
No! Oh my God! Everybody, it's Franklin's birthday too. I forgot to mention that, but happy birthday, Franklin.
How old are you?
Franklin, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to sign for you too. Do you need an invite?
Power trip. Power trip.
It conflicts with Jelani's volunteering and I want to make sure you can.
Well, I'll be present. At the very least. Ethan, within the RHA Constitution, is the one who's mandated to go because he's our food chair. But because it is a partnered RHA SGA organization, it makes sense for you.
Oh, hey, the College of Sciences and Gas Committing Senator positions.
Yeah, and then
I hope you don't mind, but I nominated you.
My God. Like I'm talking about like when you were talking about that, when I brought up duty to your constituents, I wanted to find the senator if you're gonna motion to fix it. Yeah. I wasn't gonna. Wait, wouldn't you say like if we don't say move, I move, and that is a but then the same problem would come if you were to just say I move. No, nobody says I move. Nobody. That's what I'm. But if that was the word, somebody would confuse it and say that. No, what are these? Yeah, I see your point.
I'm saying because they're of the same base.
If anyone wants free sandwiches, come. They actually look kind of good. Alyssa comes back. I heard sandwiches out of the corner of my ear.
Wait, what are they? No.
It's good, but like something.
I think like fundamentally that's the only thing I appreciate that we see. That's like my thing. Like don't care to argue with each other about something.
I was thinking back in the days when we actually had to dress up as the Senate, and now we're like,
I mean, even what we did was even casual. I came. I think there was like a black dress code. Everybody dressed
I was like, we're students.
They all did it.
Straight from lab.
They all. You remember student?
Yeah.
One student first became a Senate. I think she also had to wear. That's it. To wear like a black. And it was like back in the days. Like becoming a senator was like a war game. Not that there were so many people running for every.
Sorry, do you need help here?
Ronnie ran against.
No, I got it. I got it.
Seriously?
I got a thing.
Was he super smart?
I don't know.
I feel like meat on the floor is good.
In fact,
Anybody else want some sandwiches? Free sandwiches.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait.
Sorry, do not talk with your mouth full.
It's important, but you want to make sure you having people
I have two mediums.
No, give me one. Take some. No.
Come on.
I'm all good. You do what you need to do.
I feel like
I wouldn't be able to carry it to begin with.
just throw it away.
Sorry, come on. Wait,
Hey, I
sorry.
bring my gavel like once this entire week.
Take the tray and stop it. I never said anything. Just go.
Rocco said this.
I know Raghav did, but it's just kind of. I think Raghav might have held it.
Rocco did it.
In the middle of the night, just like
It's just so cool because I look at the little book and I'm like signing it and I look back at all the other encyclopedias and I'm like, look, it's Rocco.
Right now,
exactly. We're supposed to figure out who it is. I'm actually going to see Ronnie in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
going to be out in Seattle for a conference. I'm actually crashing.
Tell her I said hi.
Yeah, you know she's like a VP at Peaks already.
What the nice.
I have like a long list of like issues if you want
Yeah.
I can go
What? That was the weakest handshake I've ever gotten from you. You did this to me. You did the whole grab me. Okay, that was like half sarcastic. Wait, give me like an actual handshake. And then like, thank you. That was like.
I used to shake people. Do you know I used to shake and I know what it feels like to be hurt because there's this guy that goes to like some people say
Like what you just.
I got to offend the architects sometimes. I can go too soft and too hard. This guy that was going to church with my phone. Every time he comes to shake anybody of my family, we leave church. Like every time we see him come like that, it's like we're all.
Oh my god.
He was nice out.
I had to like sound check paper, like a rocky set paper. That's how it works. I've always had that as a
She gets sick on my condition meeting. She told me that
I'm like,
that's the expectation. At least one person.
you graduated? Job? How do you know
Condition meeting. You can see which schools are involved.
So when I applied for SGA, I applied for third party too. And so when SGA, I already had
Just so I, just so you're like self-resident.
I don't have to like be as scared as most people.
But could you opt out of it though, or did
Yeah,
you?
I can.
Oh, okay.
I just had to make sure I like keep my 3.5.
Are you going to?
And just sort of say,
Goes
like,
first.
we noticed some interest.
I applied to UIC as well because it's cheaper.
Bring something about it.
If I get there, I'll go there. Otherwise, I'm going to
Because that is something that we.
that one that I'm applying to.
But,
No, I won't get in.
new writers or what, I just have to know.
I don't have to score. And they like use it because I know with talking to even like the base level, like you must be at least this.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. I keep getting that was okay. And I was single day because it does a little support. They're just like, you're certified. I'll go to the
Doctor,
surgeon.
they trust
I want to
you.
work
They're
with.
like, I mean, just make sure you're finding happy in the process. Yes, I currently work in social work. What you do up to here is like, I get to, I feel like I'm,
Also, what is the deadline for
my role, because I'm working stuff. Very functional, but also quite as a person that is subtle. I don't want to say subtle.
I think it's a good sign.
Hey, here's everybody.
That's all me. I'm the middle guy. It's weird that people always talk about. I'm just there.
I feel bad for not contributing as much to the discussion because
Or at least not necessarily putting brand and stopping people up for.
yeah, which is great. But I feel bad, especially when Sonya starts calling out our entire half of the room.
You have,
Ah, man, it's been a good week for me.
We'll figure out what you want to do.
I've only thrown my physical well-being into danger one night this week. Let's not talk about that. It's more visible than I imagined.
So this priority
Find
first time.
What? It's like the
Those are
first
critical
semester last
questions.
year.
I've never seen you that much.
Well, I don't usually travel around with bugs.
They're giving us more.
I should though. I wonder if anybody got the subtlety of the reference.
Of what?
I wonder if anybody got the subtlety of this reference.
So that's kind of
It's not too subtle.
Oh, I see.
You see?
It took me until you said it.
Do you see?
There's an I am never gonna leave this meeting if people keep coming up to me. Your thing was a thesis. Oh shit, that was,
Everybody else is student life.
but right now I can appreciate it.
I mean, it's
In the middle of the WISD back and forth meeting, maybe not, but you're
the
not.
more that come, the better you get. So that's how it works. And then I'm not
Reno?
Yeah. How would you ever expect that?
How could I pick Reno?
So, the still right now is the point of contact.
I haven't told you.
It's one of those weird things where
Oh, you should tell. Why? I didn't get the position.
if I knew exactly what I wanted to do,
Come on.
Yeah, I need to get out of here. Hi, everybody.
Then this could be part of
now I want to go
other things, whatever we want to do, right? Because right now, this
figuring out
is a good idea.
who I can tell that, you know, who would I need to tell.
What you're suggesting could be one.
Goodbye.
This is very fun.
Thanks for your questions.
Moving out of the house.
Yeah, I mean, if they pay for it.
I mean, it's like the general morale.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night. I was talking. Oh, I thought you were leaving without me. And I was like, no, I was waiting.
We haven't had meetings at all.
No, really, it's always good to hear from. You guys are just,
It's one of the reasons why I'm
like, I feel like one of the things I come here to gather every time to see how much people argue, because, you know, people only argue.
It was a good discussion
So,
about
right, so it's a really, really good discussion.
proud of you.
No. You know, they actually care.
I tried to run it too.
You're so close. I actually want to make a change. I want to make it happen.
Good. Good.
My mom was so senator now. It really sucks.
Keep going. Oh yeah, next.
It's not like we haven't been on except for
I know you guys know the deal, but next that I had was for I don't know if this student, I don't know if he ever had any information regarding students with disabilities of any kind, including speech impediments.
We actually.
So you know how disabilities work, you kind of have extra arrangements, for example, if somebody with a speech impediment comes along, we do.
extra 2 minutes.
Yeah. So in my mind, I was like, you know, from the moment you started, in my mind, I was like, yeah, he's not getting his time because it's getting somewhere. It's kind of taking a little more.
I feel like a part of the reason he went over wasn't just because of that. It was because he was taking majority of the time just explaining the game.
Right.
Yeah, he did
Fair
not
enough.
choose the best things to say either.
Yeah, I
He's
completely.
like, alright, let's learn about the basics and tossing him like
I completely understand it, and this is not necessarily for this case. I'm just thinking
In
that
general,
maybe it's
yeah.
something we should have, like actually look at how do we deal with these things for. This feels like a comprehensive thing to do. Otherwise, you guys are doing a good job. This is actually a pretty nice meeting spot to have.
Especially, oh,
I just being far, yeah, I turned
I
it
did
on.
not stop the live stream.
I did.
No, not from the YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They'll just increase the stories.
That's kind of the biggest thing that you figure out. I mean, really, it's figuring out how people can. And then you find that one thing I've always found is that more similar.
I hear all the good things about you, especially from trustees.
From trustees,
Yes.
really? Which ones?
Martin just gave, for
Well,
example.
Leo, why can't you be like a kid more? Jeez, like, back when he was a president.
I mean, those.
They referred to you a few times though.
Oh, really? You find the thing with a lot of those people is that they really, really care. And if you show you care, and for me, I didn't necessarily know how to show I cared necessarily with my words. I feel like I got it across when I spoke, but I made sure I did certain things. For example, I had maybe